Just give me something to start with. A little rest is fine. I'll give you many hours, a minute at a time. I don't care where you came from, but I want you to know I may have to start over. I'm learning as I go. When I'm done, I'll be the one to take you down the road. We'll leave behind our troubles, and everyone will know.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, August 3rd, 2026. Yes, we made it to the month of August, which means we have what? September, October, 4 months left. 4 months left in this year. Let's hope it's a good 4 months, right? We don't want to have any dramatic stuff going on. I mean, there's plenty of stuff going on around the world, but we all know there's chaos everywhere. But let's hope the next 4 months are smooth and things work out for the best for all of us. That's all I can really say at this point. But it is August, and we are past the midway point of the year, obviously. But we're also getting to that point where I think the temperatures are going to improve. So currently, it's 81 degrees here at the shop outside, and we've had a lot of dark clouds and rain off and on. We might have rain for 11 seconds, and then it's gone. Or we might have rain off and on throughout the day. And so that's fine, as long as we're getting some rain. And I know there's different parts of the country that obviously need more water. I know there's talk about Lake Mead and out in California out there where there's always a lack of water. And hopefully the coffers fill up. You want to have water for everybody, and maybe the weather will cooperate. But currently it's decent here in Georgia. I know that I think somebody said we had a minor earthquake like last week, which is really weird because if you, I think it was like a 2.8, so very, very minor. But if you ever look at the Atlanta area, and there's a place called Stone Mountain, and Stone Mountain is made of granite. And from what I understand, that Stone Mountain that's the peak where they're at, where what's exposed. Apparently, it's a massive granite mountain that goes way down deep into the earth. And so I've always heard that Georgia was a pretty stable part of the country because of that. So let's hope there's no more even minor earthquakes here. But anyway, it is Monday, and I do these live streams at 7 o'clock. And I tried to talk about cars between 1955, roughly, somewhere around that range, and 1980. That seems like a good number. And I have a lot of experience with those cars and have driven a lot of those cars over the years. I was thinking about this the other day. I've talked to Roger about this, hindsight 6/7, and my recollection is I've owned in excess of 350 cars. I think is where I know I'm past that point that I've owned one way or another, and I can't even remember them all. There's so many that may have been in my possession for a week, a year, 6 months, but I think it's over 350 cars that I've owned in my lifetime. But that is also a big span of time, by the way. So, but I do have a lot of experience with that. And on this live stream, I try to encourage people to be involved and ask questions. If I can help you with something, I will. If I can't, I have people in the chat box over there that always chime in and help out. And we've actually solved a lot of problems that way. We may get on a subject that somebody has a lot of knowledge in that I don't, but they chime in and they help answer those questions. So it's a benefit for everybody to be involved, and it's a benefit even for people that are watching. They make learn something in the process. So as you know, I'm currently working on, right now, a 68 Mustang Fastback called Fangled. And I've been, let's say, fine tuning things. So I've ran into a problem a month or two ago, whatever it was. There was a lot of stuff going on, but also I ran into problems with the headers on this car. And as you already know, TCI stepped up. They made a new set of headers that are apparently going into production. And I was able to use or try out the very first set that they ever made of that design. And once I got past that point, it was kind of like I won't say necessarily a mental block, but part of it was because I try to assess things and make sure everything's going to fit in a process. And so now that I've got that cleared up, I'm moving on to other things, and that's where I was addressing some issues with the aprons and also the connector that goes from the apron to the cowl. I moved that for better alignment. It worked out great. And currently, I know it's hard to see, I'm working on the core support. And the topic there is modifying the core support in such a way that it makes it easier to put the engine and transmission in, but doesn't take away from the aesthetics of the core support itself. Like I've talked about it where the 55 Chevys and stuff like that, but they had trouble getting engines in. They would just cut it off and then put an engine in and then weld it back in. And I'm not going to do that. I don't want to have it welded. I want it to look appealing and structurally sound. So I've got it cut out and I've already worked on it. I'm going to be adding some inserts to bolt everything down and put some stainless screws on top so it looks nice. So that's another thing I've been working on. And I'm starting to do more sheet metal work on the back of the car. I need to get the quarter panels, a little bit of tuning on those, make sure they line up the way that I want them to with the doors so that the body line that goes down the side is smooth and constant. You don't want to, especially with these cars where that looks like a triangle on the side of the car, you don't want that line to be all over the place. And sometimes you have to do different things to make that work, which you'll see all that later. But anyway, let's see who's here tonight and see what we have going on. Hopefully we have a good crowd. We've got 34 showing up. And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button so YouTube lets people know that I'm doing this. And I encourage you to watch my videos and leave a thumbs up or comment on the videos. It helps with the algorithm. So let's see who's here. First one in is TJ Stang, DSG Mach 1. Barry and everyone in the chat, hello from the Mustang Field of Dreams, East Dublin, Georgia. Whoops, wait a minute. There we go. Welcome, TJ. Glad you're here. Rick Stevenson, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rick, and that gives me an opportunity to get some coffee. Thanks to Rick, I have a supply of coffee again. Glad you're here, Rick. Terry Keithley, good evening, everyone, and Barry. Please hit the thumbs up and like button for Barry. Thank you kindly, Terry and Betty and the cats. Thank you, Terry. Hope all is well. George Crackle. Hiya, Barry and the gang. Hope you're all enjoying summer in your shops. I'm enjoying it with the air conditioning. Yes. It would be miserable in here without it. I've made videos in the past where I've been working on stuff before I had air conditioning in here, and I would have sweat just running off of me and sweaty shirts, and it was like, ugh, just miserable, but it's nice now. Jerry from Jerry's Garage and Money Pit. Good evening. Good evening from Middle Tennessee. Hope all is well. Thumbs up for Barry. Thank you, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. Ed Cucciarella. Hello all. Happy to be here tonight. Glad you're here, Ed. He's out on the left coast where the gas prices are through the roof, but I know he's still enjoying driving his Ranchero. Richard Vogel. Good evening, Barry from Soggy, Long Island. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. Soggy's better than wildfires, right? I mean, and that was happening like in France. The whole country's on fire now. Yeah, we'll take a little bit of soggy, not flooding. You know, make sure it's tempered. Don't go overboard. But we'll take a little bit of soggy. Dave Tyson. Good evening, all. Good evening, Dave. Glad you're here. And Robert, the Infernal Craftsman. Evening, all. 104 daily still, but I had a whole cold front Saturday, and it was a chilly 99. Yeah, the other morning I walked out on the back porch, and it was 68. I was like, 68? And it was, the end of July. That's unheard of. But we'll take, at least for a little bit. Roger, Hindsight 67, greetings from next door. Greetings, Raj. Travis Holtman, evening all. May all your dreams come true. Well, there you go. I like that. My top patrons, appreciate you. David, the bowler hat guy. Hello, all. Good evening, Barry. Good evening, sir. Nandu's checking in. Good evening, Barry and everyone. Hope you're doing well and had a good weekend. Thank you, Nandu. I know he's up in, I think he's up in one of the Carolinas, if I remember correctly. Hey, Matco, man. Hello, everyone. Hello, sir. Robert says, rain not until late October here before we get rain again. Yeah. Thompson Brothers. Good evening, Barry, from Central Oregon. Fire country, safe so far. I'm glad you're here, sir. I know I think you were trying before to get on, and you couldn't get on the live streams, if I remember correctly. So I'm glad you're here and you're able to be involved. And I see your thumbnail has a red Mustang. It's very small when I see it. Kind of hard to figure out which one it is. I know it's a coupe though. Pat Addick, good evening from Pennsylvania. Good evening, Pat. I know I sure do appreciate you mentioning you're from PA. And every time I get, when you say that, it in a way it draws me there. And what I mean is, every time I go to Pennsylvania, it just has a different smell to it, like the farm country, out in the middle of nothing. It just has I don't know what it is. It feels like home, right? So every time we go to visit, my wife and I'll be driving down the road. We'll put the windows down and we just smell the whatever it is, the grass and everything else, and it's like, oh, it smells so good. But we don't get that necessarily here in Georgia, not like that. So I do miss that part of it, for sure. Jerry is checking in. Howdy, Barry. Howdy, all. It's hot. Have a good car chat. Thank you, Jerry. Kevin Barth, Gig'em Garage. Good evening, Barry. Give a thumbs up for Barry, everyone. Thank you, Kevin. Paul Taylor from Texas. Hello from Texas. Hello, Paul. And Lone Star Sunfish. That looks like a new name. I'm not sure who you are, where you're from, but I see you get a Texas, so I'm going to go with a star. I'm going to Lone Star. I'm going to make the connection there and go Texas. Cheers, y'all. Look at that. I figured that out all by myself. Richard Vogel, any update on the hood for Fangled? Not yet. Not yet. I've shared pictures, and we haven't really discussed it beyond sharing some pictures and whether it's going to end up with a scoop or not. I mean, it could go either way. I kind of like the cutout. I like the way that it gives that shaker look to it, which is kind of cool. And there's been a lot of suggestions, and a lot of them default to the Eleanor hood. And I'm not really a fan of that hood myself. And I've looked at different imagery, and what seems to pop up is those hoods end up having the extended nose on them. So like Dynacorn sells one, but it's made for like the Eleanor look. It ends up with that, it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches longer. So that wouldn't work unless you took the hood and cut it off, shortened it, and welded it back together. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't like that. That would be really rough to do. But I've also had people suggest the teardrop hood scoop, and I forget what the company was. I did look it up. Somebody sent me a link, I believe, and it was a kind of a kind of a. I just got a message about that. So kind of a the reverse, like a teardrop looking shape with like openings in the back, but they were fiberglass, and that's kind of so I have an answer. And the answer is it'll be the shaker style hood. So I like that. I think that's going to look cool. It'll be the shaker hood. And I will probably I'll talk about that. Travis, he says he likes a shaker, but it will need a uniform shape. Yes, I will definitely work on that. I agree. I want to try to make it still look, uniform, but not too big. So yeah, I like that. I actually like that idea. So there you go, Richard. Now you have an answer. Thompson says Thompson Brothers, sorry, you remember correctly. Well, thank you, sir. I know he recently joined me on Patreon, and we were discussing him being able to get on the live streams and stuff like that. And so apparently we got it going now. Julian, Evening Barry, the end of the month is Firebird Trans Am Nationals in Dayton near Wright Patterson Air Force Base. Is that what I'm assuming that's what that means? Firebird Trans Am Nationals. That would be cool to see. I'm probably not going to make it though, but that would be cool. Glad you're here. Rick Gain. Well, this week has already started off rotten. Hopefully it gets better. Hope everybody else is doing better than me. Give Barry a thumbs up. He deserves it. Well, thank you, Rick. And I mean, I hope you can find some positive energy there. I know you've got a lot going on, a lot of things to deal with, but you got to find something positive. We all do. Every time I'm always trying to encourage people to work on their car and do things, but there's also times where I get discouraged and frustrated and different things like that. And I know it's not easy in your situation. You got a lot to deal with, but you got to try to find some positive energy somewhere in that. So hang in there. Lone Star. Yep, my name is Sonny, and I film Texas drag racing. Oh, so is that on? You have a YouTube? Is that your YouTube channel that you do it for, the drag racing? Because I don't really keep up with that, but but I watch drag racing on occasion, but it's not something I normally get to. Thompson Brothers, maybe turn the throttle body 90 degrees, put the motor on the bottom. What? Wait, what? Maybe turn the throttle body 90 degrees, put the motor on the bottom. I'm not sure what that means. I can't process that. I'll have to think about that. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Put the throttle body 90 degrees. Oh, I see what you're saying. Now I get it. Turn the 90 degree throttle body. I get it. Put that on the bottom. If that's a possibility, that might work. I will look at that. That's a great idea. Sorry, I had to roll that in my head for a minute. But yeah, I get it now. Turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise so that the servo motor is on the bottom. I don't know if that's how they're designed to operate. Because the butterfly is on a shaft. I'll have to look into that and see if that's a possibility. But that's not a bad idea. Thank you. Hey, Matco Man, how many different four-wheel disc setup have you used, and which one did you like the best? Actually, I haven't. As far as let me think here a second. The only 4-wheel disc setups that I've done is like on the TCI setup on Fangled, and I also did the TCI setup on the Brooklyn Pony. Now the Brooklyn Pony I never got to finish. The guy dropped the ball on that one, and I wasn't able to finish the car, so I never even got to drive it. Never even got a chance to test it. But I haven't really done any others. I mean, I've done disc brake conversions on cars on the front, but I've never done a disc setup on the back. So I don't have an answer for you. I don't. Sorry. Julian Way should make it. Wait a minute. Well, if you should make it, bring that block with you. Oh yeah, you're talking about up in Ohio, right? Bring it that 302 block. Yeah, maybe that would be worth a trip. Rick Stevenson, by going the shaker route, you can always put a scoop or something else to cover the intake down the road, and that is very true. That is very true, and I was thinking about that as well, because the shaker looks cool to me, and I've already got gears turning, because I almost want to do a flange like the real shaker has that flange all the way around it, and I have to come up with a way to do that, and I think I will, but it's going to take a little ingenuity, and also I'm probably going to have to get another hood, because that with the 2 turn signal things, it's just going to be too busy. It's not going to look right. I think it takes away from the effect of that shaker, or the shaker look. So we'll do a smooth hood, and then I'm going to come up with a way to make a flange or something to finish it off. The other idea I had was like and I don't really want to do this, but like the pinch weld material, which probably isn't going to happen, but that I'm just thinking, what could work to get around that whole perimeter, and that's one idea. But I feel like it's going to need to have some sort of a flange. But yeah, it could later on have a scoop added if need be. Probably also, even if you were doing it like I'm sure there's a lot of things you could do. Like if you were sitting it for storage, you could probably make a vinyl mat that has magnets in it, so you could just lay it on top and just cover it up to protect it while it's sitting. So I've seen stuff like that before on other vehicles, but not necessarily on a scoop. Like they make a cover for the cowl where all the vents are. They do make a magnetic cover for that, but that would work pretty good. You could have a simple vinyl shape stitched up and just sew magnets into it and just lay it on top for sitting. Lone Star, yes sir. I'm a big fan of Mustangs, and so I got a lot of drag Mustangs on there. Okay, well I've got a buddy who's got a '68 Fastback. That's a drag car that hasn't been on the road in over 20, probably almost 25 years. It's a car I worked on, and I wish it was finished. To give you a quick, here's a picture of it. That car right there. It's a '68. That's one I rebuilt the quarters on. I rebuilt half the car for him, and I was really hoping that it would be on the road by now so I could get a ride in it, but it's just not happening. I know he's working on it though, but it's just taking way too long, as we all know. Thompson Brothers says, just a thought. Yeah, talking about the turning the butterfly or turning the throttle body, and every time I've seen one, I've only seen it with the bar, the bar going straight across, and the butterfly opening this way versus this way. So I don't see why it wouldn't work, but I'll have to do some research on that. Michael, evening all. Anyone going to be at Putnam, Connecticut Main Street Cruise on Sunday, August 9th? Last year, 2,400 cars showed up? Wow. Okay. That would be nice to see that. I don't think I can make it, but that would be really cool. Wow, 2,400 cars. Whew. So everybody keep that in mind. Make a note. Go to Putnam, Connecticut on August 9th. Dawn's Manufactory. Hello from Smoky PDX. Ooh. I know it's usually soggy PDX, so not good. You don't want smoke. Simone checking in. Hello there from across the pond in England. It is late and rather warm still. And I know you misprinted here. I know you're saying hope everyone is well. Thank you, Simone. I'm glad you're here. Lone Star says, heck yeah. And also there's a guy down here that races a 68 coupe. And the car's name, not Carter, I would guess, is Bad Leroy Brown. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Rick says August 9th is my birthday. That sounds like a nice thing to do to celebrate, but there's no way I can make it there. Just another thing to be disappointed about. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's other things that you can do, but yeah. My younger son, that's his birthday too, August 9th. And he's actually getting married 3 days after that. August 12th. But I don't think he'll be going up to Connecticut either. Pat Attic, I've seen a lot of cars at car shows use that windlace material because they use the late model Mach 1 scoop and don't want to pay the price for the factory molding. It bends around corners too. Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm leaning. Just a thought process. And I don't know if it'll end up that way, but we'll see what happens. Dave Conville, good evening all. Late to the show. It's all right. Bring donuts. Got to bring donuts when you're late. Richard Vogel, if you added a scoop, would the Boss 429 scoop work? I saw your AI rendering on Facebook. I mean, it might. I've seen different versions of those scoops. The one I found was 32 inches long, which is really a big, it covers the whole thing and then some. And I think the other one I saw was like 29 or something. So there's variations out there. But I'm not going to worry about that at this point anymore, because we're going to custom make the hood and go from there. We'll see how it turns out. Travis Holtman, today is my wife's, I guess, birthday. Well, happy birthday to your wife. There you go. Simone, I was at a car show here yesterday. Quite a few U.S. classic cars. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. We don't get cars like yours, your Cortina. I've never seen one here in the States, unfortunately. There's all kinds of cars that are made in Europe that never make it over here. But it's nice to know that some American classic cars do make it over there. And, you're able to see those. Hey, Matco, man, are those ProStar wheels on that Mustang you just show? Oh, on the drag car? I don't know. I don't know what they are. Hold on a second. Let me pull down your comment. I really don't know. I know the tires are like 31-inch tires, and I had to. I custom made those quarter panels. The ones that were on there were just butchered, and I had to. I used like 3 quarter panels to make that quarter panel because I had to section it. And when with that taper, as you go around, it gets narrower, right? So it's wide at the top and gets narrower as it comes down. So you couldn't just you had to cut it a certain way. Like I had to cut it into multiple pieces to make it work. Okay, I'm getting some weird stuff from the this program that I use, StreamYard. They're like trying to give me information while I'm doing my thing. It's like, no, I don't need that right now. Rick says, I get the results of my cancer biopsy on Thursday. It could be a life-changing day. Going to be a bit nervous until then. Well, I understand that. And obviously we all hope that it's positive and that, it can be taken care of. It's, there's always that stuff goes on. I had blood work done, screening for my yearly physical. And they're like, hey, you need to change some things because of, this and that and the other. And now that I'm at a certain age, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should start listening to them and try to make some changes in my life. So I've been trying to do that. But also, I requested a specific, I forget how they label it, but the test to see if you have the markers for like pancreatic cancer, since my mom had pancreatic cancer, and my aunt and my cousin. And so I did get, I haven't received the results of that yet. But, it's one of those things where, hey, do I want to know? But I need to know ahead of time. And I feel like it's not going to be a concern, but it's also one of those things you have to think about. Simone says, fingers crossed, Rick. Yes, definitely. Richland Restorations, it's Doyle. Hey, y'all, got the door jams, inside fender and trunk area in final color. Question, can you use 2K primer as a sealer if I add reducer? I think that's correct. I think. I don't see why you couldn't. Just so it's thin and it's, I don't think that's an issue. I think that would work. Because I've used sealer in the past and I've had trouble with sealer itself causing problems. And I always would rather use primer, regular primer, to get the color all the same. But yeah, I think you can do that. Rick and I saw an auto restoration show filmed in England. They were restoring a Ford Fiesta. I didn't quite know what to make of that. Yeah, the Fiesta is different over there, though. It's a different car, if I remember correctly. Simone says my car was on the market in Canada for a time. Okay, didn't know that. And Cortina was in Canada. Okay, sorry. Kind of rereading your statement there. Ed, Rick, hope the very best on the results on Thursday. Yes. Michael, I went with my neighbor last year. His truck won Best Wheels of show. Today is my wife's birthday too, and we will be at the show this weekend. She has never been to that big of a car show before. Well, happy birthday to your wife too. Happy birthday to everybody. I'm not going to sing though. Sorry. Best Wheels. I didn't even know they gave awards for that. Like, that almost sounds like, back in whenever Boyd Coddington was making all these custom wheels, and then Foose got involved in all that stuff. I didn't even know there was still an award for that. So, that's interesting. Simone says older UK cars construction is rather different. Yeah, I've seen that from your videos. The ones, the ones that your Cortina is even different. Dawn's Manufacturer says, "Hey Rick, I hear you, brother." Yes, Dawn has had his fight with cancer as well. And Simone, oh, I deleted that comment. Strange. Okay, no problem. So, as I was saying with this, I think I've resolved the core support concern that I had. And as I'm moving further back into the car, like I messaged the owner earlier today because that gas pedal kit came with the pedal itself comes with a stainless piece with little rubber ribs in it, and they give you a matching brake pedal pad, but the one they give you is for like a car with a clutch. So it's a little narrow pad, and I messaged him and I said, "Hey, do you want to go with this, or you want to keep the big wide pedal?" Which I'm happy that he said the big wide pedal, because that's what I would do too. I don't want that little pedal. If I was out trying to race, I don't want that little pedal that I might slip my foot off of. So I like that idea. I'll just have to come up. We'll come up with a new new pad for that. But it's just all these little things. Oh, also, I realized today I had done a test before on the quarter vents. He provided me with these nice quarter vents, and I had done a test just to put it up in the hole, right? Because you got that long tapered opening on the side of the car. So I had done a simple test and put them up there and said, okay, these fit. Well, then I was, as I'm going through stuff, I'm like, you know what? Did I really test these? So I took them back out of the box, and I threaded they have long pieces of all thread. Threaded those into each one of the holes. It's got five mount points, and I put it up on the side of the car, and the driver's side fit perfect. It's like, okay, and it looks good. So I go to the passenger side, and again, this is a minor thing, but I put it up there, and sure enough, like two of the bolts were fighting each other. Now, it could be the manufacturer of the vent. It could be the manufacturer of the quarter having that hole slightly off, but I was able to enlarge the holes on each inboard side, or each facing each other, slightly, and just make that fit. So now what I've started to do, because there's so many pieces and parts and stuff going on, I'm now starting to put notes on things. Like, I decided, okay, that box, I repackaged everything. I put a piece of tape on it, test fits, and I put a date on it. No sound? Anybody else? Dave's saying no sound. Hopefully everybody has sound. Give me a thumbs up or something. Maybe it's Dave. It needs to reboot or something. Let me know. Anyone? Okay. Robert says sound is good. So it must be on Dave's side. Okay. So, all right. You can all hear me. So it's something to do with, it's something on Dave. Everybody else can hear me, Dave. And I say that and Dave can't hear me. All right. So what I've started doing now is to say that, thank you, Travis. So I've decided that, okay, I'm going to put this back in the box, put a piece of tape on it, write on the box, test fits good, and put the date on it. And by doing that, and this is probably something we could all do it, to make it simpler if you have multiple boxes of things, and just write on it, test fitted, all good, whatever, and then put the date on it, and then set it aside. Because at some point, I'm going to be putting all this together, right? And I need to know ahead of time. Did I test this? Is this going to be a problem? And so just a suggestion there. But anyway, let me see here. Thompson Brothers. I'm happy to say that my clash with cancer was over 20 years ago. But yes, every year tests are always nervy. Yes. Well, I'm glad you've had a good 20 years for sure, and I hope it continues. Simone, I got a letter from my doctor to get checked at that age now. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple of little things that, I have my health care through the VA, so I'm kind of at their mercy whenever they want me to do something or they want to do a test. Um, I'm not gonna say no. Like, let's find out. So I've been trying to keep up with it, and they were commenting that I was pre-diabetic. Like, oh, okay, so time for some changes. Got to make some changes. So David can hear me. Okay, everybody else is saying sound is okay. Good, 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 good. So I don't know what's going on with the. Okay, with Dave, what the problem was. Everybody else has sound. Doyle has sent some photos for your review, Barry. I'll be praying for you, Rick. Thank you, Doyle. Um, I don't see the photos. Maybe they're not coming yet. I'll have to wait. So Dave said it was on his end. Okay, kind of figured. Pat Addick says sound good. Simone says hi to Robert. Thompson Brothers says sound is okay. Rick says thank you for the kind words. Yes. And we always hope for the best. Need to. TJ says, Barry, what generation is the Cody? 1, 2, or 3? It is the second generation. Second gen Coyote. Robert says hi to Simone. Dave Condell says sounds good. Okay. Dave Conville, prayers for Rick. Yes, by all means. Robert, I'm glad I checked the door handles in the 66 as the holes didn't line up in the new skin. And that's exactly right. I mean, whenever you get it done and you go, oh, let's put the new stuff on. Oh, the new stuff doesn't fit. Now what? Now you're backtracking. So, hey, Mecha Man, I have a sound, but a commercial every other question. I don't know how. I mean, YouTube puts all that stuff on there. Dave Tyson says all better. Simone, I was worried I had lung cancer, but thankfully not, even though I have. Oh, you're going to make me try to say that? Okay. Sarcoidosis? Sarcoidosis instead. I think I got it right. But I don't know what that is, but I hope it's not bad. No Biden, got to adjust the camera a little bit to the left. That way? But then you won't see me. Rick Gain says YouTube Premium is the best $20 a month I spend. I pay my Joe Daddy's Patreon membership yearly. Yes, and I do appreciate you for that, Rick. All my patrons. I really do. Because I can't count on YouTube. Jerry says, I don't have ads, not a premium upgrade. Okay. So, I don't know. Maybe I can turn this a little bit. There's a little bit to the left. A little bit to the left. You want to see more of Iron Man? Is that it? You got it. Okay. That's all you get. You got to watch videos for the rest of it. You got to watch videos. No Biden, just laughing. Okay. Julian, I was told I was pre-diabetic years ago, stopped all sweets, and I cleared no sweet pop. Yeah, I decided I'm doing a modified, my own kind of diet thing. Like, I did a diet about I don't know, 10 years ago, and I lost like 40 pounds. So if you see some videos from me like 8 or 10 years ago, I'm a little thinner looking, maybe a lot thinner looking. And I was exercising and doing a lot of stuff. And since then, I've gained some of that back. But also, I I really don't. I really haven't been watching what I eat at all. Like sugar, little Debbie snack cakes and coffee and for breakfast, and uh, I'd eat a sandwich and a couple handfuls of chips for lunch, and who knows what I'd have for dinner. But when I went to have the physical done, they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to do some changes." So they said, knock out the white rice, the potatoes, potato chips, bread, and I said, "Okay, fine." So that's what I did, and that was a week and a half ago. I did that, and I'm already down like 6.5 pounds or 7 pounds, just like that. So it will continue. It will continue. Thompson Brothers, last November I was I guess diabetic is what he's saying. Okay. Yeah. Simone, correct, my lungs were found to be restricted and there's a mass in the right side. I get out of breath easy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Terry Keithley, gobs are a mind food. Yeah, they are. Yeah. And I haven't had a gob in a couple weeks for sure. There's some in the freezer though. There's some in the freezer. Travis says, make sure you take care of yourself. I want Monday chats till you're 80. Well, we'll see how that goes. 80. Well, I'll see what I can do. By then, I might be like all hunched over. But you're right. We all need to take care of ourselves, and it's easy to fall into that simple rut of, hey, let's get some, fast food, or let's eat this, junk and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do what I can and lose some weight and get my numbers down. Rick says, I was told I'm pre-diabetic. I'll deal with that next week. Yeah. Well, it just happens, and they also talk about, by the way, Rick, they also talk about being insulin resistant, which is part of that, right? Also affects a lot of other things. And that I'm not saying it could, but it may be affecting the the cancer. It's very possible, because apparently cancer loves sugar as well. So it might be beneficial to just get rid of any sugar you're eating, and nip that in the bud. So just a thought. Simone says, that is interesting. Gobs is slang for mouth over here. Yeah. Gob is a snack cake over here. This particular snack cake is from Pennsylvania, and it's basically like what they call like a whoopie pie or something like that, where it has a chocolate half and a chocolate half and a white icing in the middle. Really good. Scott the Burt. I'm going to correct this, and I know you're trying to say, hi, Barry. Trying to figure out the same thing, but taking an original hood and cutting the TA scoop into it. I'm thinking cutting the damaged hood opening, flagging it, and use flagging it or flanging it. Maybe that's flanging it, and using body panel glue. Okay. That's a thought. Cutting the whole damaged hood opening, flanging it, and using body panel glue. That's a thought. And I'm not sure what I'm going to come up with just yet. I will come up with something though. But glad you're here, Scott. And don't call me baby, okay? Don't do that. That's not cool. Michael says ice cream. Yes, I love ice cream. I've eaten a lot of ice cream. A lot. A lot. Cut out the ice cream. Dawn, I've been struggling with pre-diabetic, more exercise, cut carbs and sweets, haven't lost a pound, and I'm still 6.1 A1C. So, you cut out all sweets? Because like when I lost weight, when I got serious about losing weight, I was strictly on a high protein diet. And I mean high protein. I ate nothing but meat, cheese, and eggs for everything. That's all I ate. And I lost 40 pounds. And when I went to have my blood work done, the bad cholesterol didn't even exist. Because when you do that, you're consuming that cholesterol, and your body gets rid of all that stuff because it's like, oh, I have plenty. It gets it every day, and it gets rid of all the other stuff. So it's not easy. You know, I mean, you definitely need to cut all that stuff out. Because mine was mine was like 6.1 as well, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to change that. I will change that. I'm kind of hard nosed that way. Scott says, not baby Barry. Yeah, got it. Jerry says, since my CABS surgery, I've switched to a high fiber diet. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we all have to take care of ourselves. It's mandatory now. You know, nobody wants to. You don't going to get sick and go in the hospital for anything. But yeah, it's the thing. Dropping weight and trying to get healthy. David says, carnivore diet worked good for me. A1C came down, lost weight, and I guess eat steak and eggs every day. You know, and that's a fact. That is a fact. It will drop everything, and I haven't gone that far yet on this particular diet. I'm trying to be a little more gentle on myself, so a little bit of yogurt, you know, but I could definitely do the steak, eggs, and cheese and all that, and not be shy about it. Julian, after it clears up for a while, a Snickers now and then hits the spot. Oh yeah, yeah. And the biggest thing, and probably the biggest thing that I'm going to miss from doing this, we get chocolate from this chocolate store up in Pennsylvania. It's called O'Shea's. Probably the best chocolate around as far as I'm concerned. It's not cheap, and I usually get like peanut butter meltaways, and I have a whole box of those sitting in the cabinet that are unopened. And anytime I do eat those sorts of candies, I eat like 3. I limit myself to 3 little cubes of peanut butter meltaways, but I'm not going to get into that box for quite a while. You know, I'm going to see what I can do, get my numbers down, and try to be healthier. Let's see. I'm Doyle. I'm 68 now, and I can tell you from experience that these aftermarket parts, knee and hip, are as good as the original. Well, that's a positive. Yeah, I feel like I'll eventually be getting a knee at some point, but for now I'm okay. Jerry says you need to pay attention to the fat and salt on a high protein diet. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Scott, trying to shed 10 pounds, started on coffee flavored protein shakes to do away with the sugar loaded iced coffees. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even putting I don't usually put anything but creamer in my coffee anyway. But yeah, that's a big no-no, is having extra sugar anywhere. Dawn says, Doyle, no test fit needed. Yeah, on a hip and a knee. Let's hope not. Simone, I need to sleep. Good night, all. Have a good evening. Well, thank you, Simone. Glad you're here. I've occasionally caught Simone's live. Whenever she does one, I try to check in with her. Also, wait a minute. Doyle says, take that back. He says, I meant to say not as good. Oh, so he initially had said are as good as the originals, but now he's revised that. I meant to say not as good. Okay, well that's discouraging. I don't want to hear that. Richard, I'm on Weight Watchers. I watch my weight go up. Yeah, it's easy to do. For some of us, it's easy. I know, like our younger son, middle kid, he can't gain weight. He can eat whatever he wants, anytime, as much as he wants, and he can't gain weight. The only way he can gain weight is by actually lifting weights, and that's why he became a power lifter. Because he can't, he couldn't gain weight. Didn't matter what he did. Let's see. Just to change, Don says, just to change the subject, I've been in computer purgatory for a couple weeks. Geez. Oh. I'm not sure how that happens. That doesn't sound very positive. I need my computer. When I'm sitting here trying to figure out something and where do I get this? How do I do that? Certain things I just need to know. And then when I'm not doing those, if I'm taking a stress break, I sit here and play chess. I like to play chess. But anyway. Okay. Well, we've kind of got off the subject of cars, but that's okay. That's okay. Terry Keithley, I have body man's knees, no surgery, have no surgery, have no one to take care of me. Yeah, that would be very difficult. Pet addict, watch out for artificial sweeteners. Some of them absolutely destroy your metabolic health, and they're in just about every health drink. Yeah, I don't drink. All I drink now is water and coffee. I don't know what happened, Doyle. I see you sent me a question. It says, did you get the photos? I think you will be, I guess, surprised. I have not seen them. So hopefully you sent them to the right Joe Daddy. JoeDaddy's Garage at gmail.com. No apostrophe. I know we've run into this situation before, but it's not, I don't see them coming up. And when they have come, they've never been in like, the junk folder or anything like that. So if they show up, I'll look at them. But we may need to resend them. Julian, I eat fresh fruit for breakfast, oatmeal for lunch, and fish for supper for just over a year. That was the fix. Well, there you go. Richard, awesome show and chat tonight. Thanks, Barry. You're welcome, Richard. Yeah. Maureen, I haven't seen you in a while. My bedtime is also 8 p.m. because I get up at 4 a.m. Try free weights, exercises, and push-up for general core health, which helps me. Okay. Great idea. Sounds like a military thing. I can do that. Okay. So I'm going to call it a night. I need to actually go in the house and get something to eat. Not a lot, but get something to eat. So I'll be back here next Monday night at 7 o'clock as usual. And I'll probably have a new video out by the end of the week. But that's going to be it for tonight. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. See ya.
Just give me something to start with. A little rest is fine. I'll give you many hours, a minute at a time. I don't care where you came from, but I want you to know may have to start over. I'm learning as I go. When I'm done, I'll be the one to take you down the road. We'll leave behind our troubles, and everyone will